No good. McCauley runs it down. And they're going to get Dan Mitchell with a foul. This is his first personal. Team 6 on the next foul. Massena. No, I guess Massena's with it. He's got a 3-on-2. Tipped away by Massena. We have a tie score, 16-16, with 4 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Garcia's three-pointer. That's off. Rebounded by Mock. Mock tried to get it up to Armpriester, but time expires to end the first quarter. 16-16 is your score. We'll be back for the second quarter right after this. We're back as we start the second quarter. Mock in the lane, turn around, no, won't go for him. Mitchell attempted to save it, he did, right to Chad Gauthier. As Mitchell brings up the ball for the Larrys. Stolen away by Dan Bailey. And Dan Bailey stepped on the sideline and turns the ball right back over to the Larrys. Massena with pressure right at the half-court line. Bordelot tipped away by Kelly, and that will head out the door and down the hall. There, the ball's back. Bordelot set to inbound for the Larrys to Brandon Hewlett. Brandon Hewlett's got 3 Raiders on him. Back in the corner, Massena with pressure by Kelly, and it's tipped away by Alan Kelly. And Brian Bordelot will try it again. It's Mitchell. He has the ball stolen away by Mock. Up to Armpriester. Armpriester, shot won't go. Chris Ward picks it up and gets over to Chad Gauthier, who in turn passes it over to Brian Bordelot. Massena playing a zone. Here's a three-pointer by Mitchell. That's off the rim. Hewlett grabs it, gives it back to Mitchell. Mitchell's got Bordelot down on the baseline for an easy bucket. They forgot all about Brian Bordelot. Ball tipped away and it hit Dan Bailey, and turnover to the Larrys. Andy Armpriester in the game for the Raiders. Jamie Mock asking for a foul call. Here's Chris Ward to inbound the ball. Gets it back to Mitchell. Mitchell over to Hewlett. Hewlett drives, has the ball stolen away by Andy Armpriester. So it's got Mitchell to beat. He gets fouled. And Dan Mitchell picks up his second personal. And that will put Andy Armpriester on the line. To shoot 2. And Andy Armpriester ties this game back up at 18 apiece with 6:35 to go here in the second quarter. Mitchell. Ward to Hewlett. Hewlett put the ball on the floor. And Phil Dranger points to the direction of Massena. Here's McGregor. Up to Kelly. Kelly over to Mock. Mock over to Andy Armpriester for the semi-alley-oop. Massena takes the lead for the first time in this game. 20-18. 2-3 zone by Massena. Mitchell's going to try a three-pointer, and he nails one from way downtown. Knocked away by Gauthier, but he can't run it down. The Larrys with some full court pressure. Long pass over to Andy Armpriester. Tried to hit Alan Kelly, but just was not high enough for him. Throw that ball up there. He'll go for it. He'll go get it. Here's Bordelot over to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to try another three-pointer. Ward gets the rebound. He sticks it back. Armpriester. And we're going to have an over and back call as Dan Mitchell controlled the ball in his front court and stepped into the back court. Dan Bailey will be inbounding the ball for the Red Raiders as the Larrys lead 23-20 with 5:20 to go in the second quarter. McGregor. Swish. Mitchell pass to Hewlett, and he's fouled by Alan Kelly. As Alan Kelly picks up his first personal, and that will put Brandon Hewlett on the line to shoot. 2. Tonight's game being brought to you by Billy's Bingo Hall, Burning Sky Office Supplies, and by Kentucky Fried Chicken. The Wolf Clan Truck Stop, Burns Truck Stop number 9. Brandon Hewlett for 2. His first attempt is good. He nails both of them. 25-23, the Larrys lead. Tony Armpriester to McCauley. McCauley. He's going to try a three-pointer. That's off. Picked up by Ward. Here's Garcia. Mitchell drives, kicks it out to Ward. Ward's shot from the corner is off, and they're going to say it went off Jamie Mock. Then the Larrys will retain possession. Mitchell for 3. Brandon Hewlett. That rims out. Ball loose on the floor. Off Brian McCauley, and the Larrys retain possession. Hewlett Bordelot finds Ward. Mock, he's got McCauley. McCauley traveled. If he'd have put the ball on the floor, he wouldn't have traveled, but he did. Massena picking up some pressure. Bordelot over to Ward, down to Hewlett in the corner. No. Loose ball picked up by Mitchell. Jamie Mock. And they're going to get Brandon Hewlett with a hole. Which will put Jamie Mock on the line to shoot a 1-and-1. .405 to go in the second quarter. The Larrys lead 25-22. Jamie Mock will see if he can't cut into that 3-point lead. Rebounded by Garcia. They're going to get Garcia with a traveling violation. As Armpriester is set to inbound the ball from Massena. Mike Frederick in the game for the Red Raiders. Armpriester from the corner. That's way over the rim. And Ward's there to pick it up and push it up the floor to Garcia. Hewlett down to Ward. One too many passes. I think Ward would have, Chris Ward would have looked up. He would have had a free ride to the basket, but South Massena, and the Larrys retain possession. Here's Garcia in the corner. And they got a foul coming up on Brandon Hewlett, who picks up his third personal. Now put Dan Bailey on the line, and Glenn McGregor coming back in the game along with Andy Armpriester and Chad Gauthier for the Larrys. Dan Bailey at the free throw line. Hits his first one. Tonight's game also being brought to you by Dick's Outboard Motor Shop, by Michelix Plastics, DR Booth Hardware, Massena Chrysler Plymouth and Dodge Trucks, and the FNL Seaway Bowl. The second shot's off. Here's Mitchell, breaking pressure, drives the lane, finds Barlow with a nice pass, but Bailey's there to get the rebound. Bailey's going to push the ball up the floor. Oh, he took it in the end, but couldn't convert. And Barlow's pass from Mitchell is just a tad bit too far. And Massena will inbound. With the Larrys applying some full court pressure. Macaulay up to Armpriester. He's got Kelly. Kelly, nice pass, but can't convert. Here's Macaulay. We got a foul coming up on Massena's Andy Armpriester. His first personal foul, and that will put Jason and Garcia at the free throw line. To shoot a 1-and-1. Here's Garcia's first try. We got lane violation by Chad Gauthier. He entered the lane too early. So wipe off any shots from here on in. On the free throw, on the violation rather. Pass too high for Andy Armpriester. Here's Barlow. Moves around and tries to hit Gauthier. Ball loose on the floor. He picks it up. Here's Mitchell for three. He drains it. 28-23 with 2:40 to go in the second quarter. A jump ball. It will be the Larry's ball. Jamie Mott coming into the game, and Alan Kelly will take a seat. Tony Armpriester in, McGregor will take a seat. Kevin Crump checks into the game for the Larrys. (28-23) is your score. Barlow working hard and gets the rebound in the stick back. Kevin Crump picks up the loose ball and passes to Chris Ward. Ward's pass knocked away by Massena. Mitchell drives baseline. Mott pulls down the rebound, and Macaulay has it stolen away, and he'll foul Mitchell. Sands looking for an intentional personal. Crowley picks up his first personal foul, and we'll put Dan Mitchell on the free throw line as Brian McCauley and Tony Armpriester take a seat, and Alan Kelly and Mike Frederick check into the game for the Raiders. First shot won't go. Larry's with a 7-point lead, 30-23. Mitchell hits 1 of 2. They're going to get Jason Garcia with a hold, which will put Alan Kelly on the free throw line, shooting a 1-and-1. This is a small gym here at St. Lawrence. There's not much room there where the three-point arc meets the baseline, probably about 6 inches into the corners. Kelly drains them both. Cuts the lead to 6, 31-25 with 1:50 to go in the second quarter. Garcia, his crump through his hands to Mitchell. Mitchell, nice little move, and he gets it to fall. Kelly out to Bailey. Nice passing by Massena, as the Mock ended up finding Kelly all alone. Three-pointer from Mitchell. He hit something but the bottom of the net. That's his third three-pointer of this evening. Mock takes it himself, and he just dumps it right in. Here's Mitchell to Bordelot. Bordelot's going to try his shot. Picked up by Frederick. Frederick brings it across the timeline down to Armpriester. Back to Frederick's going to try a three-pointer, and he hits something but the bottom of the net. 36-32 with 40 seconds to go in the second quarter. Massena and St. Lawrence trading baskets now. Bordelot to Crump. Crump drives. He gets it knocked away by Jamie Mock, but he hammered him in turn, and that'll put Kevin Crump on the line to shoot 2, and Jamie Mock picks up his second personal. Crump's first shot's off. Checking into the game for the Larrys is Brad Lawrence. Both shots rim out. Bailey there to pull down the rebound, up to Frederick. Frederick's going to stop, and they're going to pull it out. They're going to work for one shot. Here's Frederick. Back to Armpriester. Inside to Kelly. They're going to get a push on Brian Bordelot, which will send Alan Kelly to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Brian Bordelot's second personal foul. And Alan Kelly, we'll see if he can draw closer to this 4-point Larry lead. 20 seconds to go, 36-32. He gets the first one. Here's his second try. Hits them both. 2-point lead for the Larrys. Ball almost stolen away there by Armpriester. Garcia, his pass is tipped away. Armpriester has it stolen away from him. And they're going to get Bailey with a push. Dan Bailey picks up his third personal. Tony Armpriester will come into the game. And Jason Garcia will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 with 10 seconds to go. And he's good on his first attempt. In the game for the Larrys is number 12, Matt Evans. Over to Mock. Mock up and in. Massena draws to within one. And the horn goes to end the half as the Larrys lead the Raiders by 1 point, 37-36. For third quarter action here at St. Lawrence Central High. Leading scorers for the visiting Red Raiders, whereas Alan Kelly had 12 points. Andy Armpriester was 6, and Jamie Mock had 7. The big scorer tonight for the Larrys was Dan Mitchell. He had 3 3-pointers, which added up with his other points to 16 in the first half, as Brian Borlow chipped in 8, and Chris Ward with 6. We're set to go. 37-36 your score. The Larrys on top, and we're going to get a quick foul on Aaron Baker as he picked up a quick foul. Massena inbound the ball on the sideline. That's Aaron Baker's 4th personal of the evening, and he will be substituted for as number 40, Chad Gauthier, checks into the game. And Aaron Baker will take a seat. The Larrys in the zone. Mock from way out tries his shot. That didn't go, and Borlow was there to rebound the ball, and he gives it back to Mitchell. Here's Ward, dumps down to Hewlett. Kicked by Jamie Mock. Shot by Borlow. Didn't hit anything, and Mock was there to pick it up. Armpriester. Top of the key down to his brother. Back out front, Andy Armpriester down to Mike Frederick. Kelly picks up the loose ball, and he scores. Massena goes on top by 1, 38-37. Nice passing by the Larrys as Brandon Hewlett picks up a bucket. Pass knocked away by Mitchell. Mike Frederick in the backcourt up to Andy Armpriester. Frederick inside to Kelly, back to Mock. He tried to hit Tony Armpriester, but that was knocked away by Brian Borlow. We have a tight game. 39-38, the Larrys on top. Inside to Kelly. Kelly turnaround on the baseline. Off the rim. Rebounded by Borlow. Way up to Ward. To Mitchell. I think Alan Kelly made him change his shot on that one. And here's Armpriester. Andy Armpriester tried to hit his brother Tony, but it's picked up by Borlow. Borlow pushes the ball up the floor. Stops at the key. No. Rebounded by Mock. Up to Frederick. Frederick had Armpriester, but he finds Kelly. Back out to Frederick. Frederick. Shot. Probably partially deflected. Hit Mitchell. He drives the lane. He stops. He pops. Rebounded by Jamie Mock. Both teams going up and down the floor, but nothing falling for him. Armpriester. Tony Armpriester. 40-39. Massena, a 2-3 zone. Ward. Nice pass down to Bordelow. Oh, Alan Kelly was right there to try to reject it. Joe Javimbo asking for a foul to referee Jim Myers. Back into Mock, but it won't go. They're going to get Mock with over the back as Jamie Mock picks up his third personal foul on the evening. We're sitting right here in the middle of the student section. Massena with a 1-3-1 zone press. Kelly, nice play. Porto on the floor. They're going to call a jump ball. The Larrys retain possession on the alternating possession arrow. Oh, nice tip in by Chris Ward, but Chad Gauthier had it all to himself, and Chris Ward was there. Armpriester back to McGregor. McGregor for three. No. Ball loose on the floor. Picked up by Bailey. Bailey to Frederick. Frederick off the glass, won't go. Orlo picks it up. He's got Mitchell on the break. Foul by Glenn McGregor. And that will put Dan Mitchell on the free throw line. 41-40. Mitchell at the free throw line. Ball bounced around there quite a bit and finally fell. Second one won't bounce around and go in for him. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Bailey. Bailey's got Armpriester, down to Armpriester, drives off the glass and in. Tony Armpriester with a nice play. He was being guarded there by two Larrys. Mitchell drives, finds Bordelow on the baseline. He's being guarded by three Raiders. Massena will take possession of the ball on the out of bounds throw. Rick Lund in the game. Kelly over to Armpriester. Armpriester's shot from the corner won't go. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell's got to wait for help. He's going to try a three-pointer, and he nails it. 45-42, three-point lead for the Larrys. Here's Lund. He drives. Kelly, he fakes a three-pointer. Armpriester's going to try a jump shot, and he hits it. Massena within one, 45-44. Mitchell, pass way over for Bordelow. Makes a nice job saving it inside the Hewlett. Nice try by Bordelow, but Kelly with the ball and gives it to Mike Frederick. And Massena's going to take a timeout. And so will we, with 3:30 to go in the third quarter. The Larrys lead the Raiders 45-44.
Attention, attention, Burns Truck Stop number 9 is your one-stop place for tax-free gas, American and Canadian cigarettes, all your convenience store needs. So stop into Burns Truck Stop number 9 on Route 37 in Hogansburg for the 24-hour service you deserve.
We're back as the Raiders inbound the ball. Here is Rick Lund down into Frederick out front to Lund. Line over to Armpriester, down the corner for Frederick. Frederick's shot won't go. If he stayed there, he would have probably got his own rebound. But Mitchell's there to bring the ball up the court for the Larrys. Jason Garcia in the game. Here's Gauthier over to Mitchell. Mitchell dumps it down into Bordelow. Bordelow, a nice hook shot, won't go. Armpriester, and they're going to call a jump ball. Here Massena will take possession via the alternating possession arrow. Pressure by the Larrys. Massena breaks it. There's Lund. Frederick, he drives. A little hard out the glass, gets his own rebound this time. Turn around, won't go for him. Ball loose on the floor. Bailey working hard for it, but Ward comes up with it. Here's Garcia. Garcia is going to stop and wait for help. Mitchell to Gauthier at the free throw line. Gets a kind roll on that one. 47-44. Frederick Armpriester tried to hit Kelly, but Bordelow is playing good defense. He steals it away, but he dribbles it right to Frederick. Frederick's up to Bailey. Bailey drives the lane, tries to leave it for Frederick. And tips it out of bounds. Andy Armpriester comes into the game, and Kevin Crump will come into the game for the Raiders, or for the Larrys rather. Massena picking up at half court. Mitchell to Garcia. Tipped away, picked up by Bailey. Bailey almost had it stolen. Tony Armpriester. Way over cross court pass to Bailey. From the corner, Armpriester, he nails one. Armpriester with a ball out of bounds. Tony Armpriester with, he's got 8 points here in the third quarter. 47-46. Andy Armpriester down to his brother. He's got the high hand for the Raiders. Won't go that time. Bailey there to, and he gets fouled. As they'll get Brian Bordelow with a foul, and Dan Bailey will go to the free throw line as Matt Evans checks into the game. Bordelow picks up his third personal. They're going to give Dan Mitchell a break. Dan Bailey wasn't very successful from the free throw line in the first half. He was 1 for 4. He's 2 for 2 here in the third quarter. Massena on top by 1. Loose ball thrown up to Armpriester. Easy layup. Massena 50, St. Lawrence 47. Here's Bordelow breaking pressure. Down to Evans, back out front to Bordelow. Ward from the baseline. Rebounded by Dan Bailey, and he dribbles out of bounds. Moving the Massena bench down over there was the officials to clear the table so they could see the table. Tipped away and picked up by Armpriester. Andy Armpriester should look for his brother. He's got the high hand here in the third quarter. Inside to Bailey. Bailey with a spin move. Won't fall for him. Picked up by Jason Garcia. Garcia being double teamed by Bailey and Armpriester. That's a hold on Brian Bordelow. And Bordelow picks up his 4th personal foul. And that will put Jamie Mock on the, no, it won't either because it wasn't a shooting foul. Andy Armpriester will inbounds the ball for the Raiders. Here's Mock. Nope, they're going to call it traveling on Jamie Mock. Masseno's pressure almost creates another turnover. Here's Gauthier, his shot's way over, and Lund passes it to Mock. Mock down into Bailey. Bailey on the baseline, he gets fouled. He's fouled by Chris Ward. And Dan Bailey go to the line to shoot two. 16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Massena 50, St. Lawrence 47. Dan Bailey good on the first try. Alan Kelly will check into the game to give Jamie Mock a break. Dan Bailey hits both of them. And I believe he's 4 for 4 here from the free throw line. The official's going to get Andy Armpriester with a foul. Blocking foul. Massena leads by 5 here in the waning seconds of the third quarter. Evans drives the lane, up out the glass, won't go. Armpriester, they're going to get a foul on Evans. Mike Barton will check into the game for the Raiders. And Brian McCauley also in the game for the Red Raiders for these final 7 ticks of the third quarter. Alan Kelly back to Barton. Barton down to Armpriester. Armpriester's shot won't go, and that ends the third quarter. We'll head into the fourth, and there you see our score. Massena by 5. We'll be right back. We're back for the fourth quarter as the Larrys inbound the ball. I incorrectly said at the end of the third quarter, Massena was up by 5. They're actually up by 4 with 51 to 47. There's a shot that's just not going to make it. Massena gained possession. The Larrys with a 2-2-1 full court press. Lund up to Mock. Mock drives. No, Bailey there for the board. Turnaround hook shot. It falls for him. Here's pressure. Ward to Mitchell. Mitchell's shot is rejected by Alan Kelly. Massena's lead built to a 6-point lead. They're going to get Mitchell with a foul with a push. And that's a team 6 personal, I believe. And that's Dan Mitchell's 3rd personal foul. The only one in really any foul trouble is Brian Bordelot and Aaron Baker for the Larrys. And both men are in the game right now. Jamie Mock stepped out of bounds and turned the ball over. To the Larrys to inbound. Bordelow missed Baker, but he did get to Hewlett. Hewlett with a nice play. Here's Bailey. Bailey breaks pressure, but he stepped on the sideline. Mitchell to Ward, inside to Baker. Baker turnaround, bottom of the net. 53-51, the Raiders on top by a pair. Lund to Armpriester. Alan Kelly drives on Baker. He lets him go. Won't fall, gets his own rebound. And gets the stick back as Baker, a little reluctant to go up for fear he might pick up his 5th personal. There's a shot by Mitchell, that's off. Pass up to Armpriester. Massena builds it back to a 6-point lead, 57-51. Baker back out front to Mitchell. Massena doesn't want to give him that 3-point shot. Bordelow's pass, he had Mitchell in the lane, but that was deflected by Kelly. Loose ball, it's a scrum. As they unpile. And Jimmy Myers is talking to the players. Looks like it'll be 1st and 10, Massena. Massena gets the ball as a jump ball was called on that scrum on the floor. And Mike Frederick. Oh, just too far for Dan Bailey. He can't handle it. And it goes out of play. Brandon Hewlett. Stolen away by Armpriester. And they're going to get Brandon Hewlett with a foul as Tony Armpriester was fouled by Brandon Hewlett. And that will put him on the free throw line. And now Brandon Hewlett has picked up his 4th personal. Tonight's game being sponsored by Billy's Bingo Hall, by Burning Sky Office Supplies, by Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Wolf Clan Truck Stop, and by Dick's Outboard Motor Shop. Loose ball picked up by Baker, up to Ward, over to Mitchell. And Mitchell just couldn't hang on, and he walked. Also sponsors for tonight's game, Michelex Plastics, DR Booth Hardware, Massena Chrysler Plymouth and Dodge Trucks, and the F&L Seaway Bowl. Jump ball. As both players secured possession. And the Larrys get the arrow this time. Ward down to Bordelow. Bordelow in the corner. Has it knocked away by Alan Kelly. Alan Kelly's changed many shots. He's knocked away many shots tonight. Dan Mitchell for 2 on the inbounds play. 57-53. Dan Bailey will take Aaron Baker on. Reverse layup won't fall. They're going to get Jamie Mott with a personal foul. That's his 4th. St. Lawrence not in the 1-1, but set to check into the game from Massena is Andy Armpriester. Bordelow in the corner. He's got 2 Massena players on him. And Brian Bordelow lost it out of bounds. And Rick Lund will come in the game to give Jamie Mock a break. .454 to go here in the 4th quarter. Massena leads by 4. Kelly Out front to Armpriester. To Lund. Lund inside to Kelly. Kelly puts a move on behind, knocked away by Aaron Baker. Rick Lund from the free throw line. Won't go. Out of play. And the Larrys will take possession. Dan Mitchell to Ward. Down to Bortolo. Bortolo inside to Baker. Won't go off the glass. Bailey and Andy Armpriester fight over it. They turn the ball over. Gautier's shot won't fall. Here's Rick Lund. He tosses it back to Armpriester. Up to Bailey. Stolen away, but out of bounds was Brian Bortolo. In a 2-3 zone, the Larrys are. Ball loose on the floor. Kelly, presence of mind, not to get up. Armpriester won't go. Kelly gets killed, and Aaron Baker just picked up his 5th personal foul. He'll head to the bench. Both these teams were involved in tournaments over the holidays, and Massena placed 3rd at the Ed Bush Memorial Tournament held in Ogdensburg, New York. They defeated the Norfolk Flying Ends 61-48. The big story there was Alan Kelly. He had 20 points and pulled down 12 boards. The Larrys traveled to Brushton, Moira, where they won their consolation game by defeating St. Regis Falls 60-47. Dan Mitchell. Strong performance for the Larrys in that tournament. But now business at hand. Alan Kelly at the free throw line. Massena with a 4-point lead, 57-53. And we're at the 3:54 mark of the fourth quarter. Won't go. Armpriester there to rebound it. Loose ball picked up by Bortolo. Bortolo spins into the lane. He gets fouled, and they're going to count the basket. Tony Armpriester will pick up that personal foul. And Brian Bortolo has the chance to cut the lead to 1 if he can convert the 3-point play. He can't convert. Alan Kelly's there with a big board. Armpriester in the middle of the Kelly. Kelly turns, goes to hit Lund, but Brian Bortolo's right there to pick it off. Mitchell's down to the baseline. He gets killed by Alan Kelly. Joe Javingo desperately wanted an intentional personal foul. But from my vantage point, Mitchell faked. He was going up for a shot, so Alan Kelly jumped up in the air, and as he had Kelly in the air, he moved in to draw the personal, and Alan Kelly landed on him. I don't believe that was intentional at all. A little bit of a push there, but I don't believe that would have been intentional. But he's good on the first strike. He faked Kelly up into the air and then went to go around him. He just landed right on top of Dan Mitchell. He hits the second one. We're tied, 57 apiece with 3:30 to go. Inside to Kelly. They're going to get a foul on Chad Gauthier with a push. Massena being in the 1-on-1 will send Alan Kelly to the free throw line. This is where one of these two teams might win this game is from the charity stripe. Alan Kelly good on the first one. Hard on the second one. Borlow fighting with the Red Raiders. Mitchell to Ward. Ward's shot won't go. And they're going to get Gauthier with over the back. As Chad Gauthier picks up his 4th personal foul. Which will again send Alan Kelly to the free throw line. And St. Lawrence is going to take a timeout. With 3:17 to go in the 4th quarter, it's Massena 58, St. Lawrence 57.
The drive-in is open. Kentucky Fried Chicken is back. We do chicken right. Slow roasted to perfection rotisserie chicken, plus all the original chicken recipes and extras. The Colonel is back. Kentucky Fried Chicken located at 232 Main Street in Massena. Drive in or call today at 769-3993.
Alan Kelly's set to shoot a 1-and-1. St. Lawrence fans, as you can hear, trying everything they can do to entice Mr. Kelly to miss. Let's go down 1 of 2 again. Orlow passes up to Mitchell. Armpriester gets back. He follows him. And Mitchell will go to the line to try to make it a 3-point play. Andy Armpriester just didn't get back there in time. And he gets charged with the foul. That's his 4th personal. And Dan Mitchell will try to put the Larrys up by a point. And he does. 60-59. 3:05 to go here in the 4th quarter. Alan Kelly. To Bailey. Bailey drives, he pumps, in and out. Kelly's right there to get rebound. Nice play by Chris Ward to get a hand on the ball. And Massena will put the ball in play. Here's Armpriester, reverse layup, won't go. Kelly in the lane, dumps it in. 60-61. They're going to get Rick Lund with a block. Rick Lund has picked up his 4th personal foul. 1-and-1. I believe it's a 1-and-1. It's a 1-and-1 for Mitchell. They're discussing it at the table. One and one has finally been decided by the official Jim Myers. Dan Mitchell. Chance to put his team up by a point. If he should be able to can both of these free throws. He does the first. He nails them both. 62-61. Pressure by the Larrys. Up to Armpriester, inside to Bailey. Bailey dribbles off his foot. As Jamie Mott comes in the game and Rick Lund will take a seat. Two of the big Massena players in the game, Mock and Kelly. Mark deflected that one, and it deflected off Chris Ward's hand. Armpriester over to Tony. Bailey. Bad pass by Dan Bailey, so he hit it to Alan Kelly. Created a turnover. Now St. Lawrence will see if they can capitalize. And Brian Boyle dribbled right off his leg and turned it right back over to Massena. Massena will take a timeout. There you see our score. We'll be back right after this. We got 2:11 left to go here in the fourth quarter as the Larrys lead the Red Raiders 62-61. Kelly. Pass to Bailey. Bailey's nice pass over to Mock. Too hard off the glass. Got the line. Bailey's shot falls. Massena keeping their shots alive. Armpriester. Pick the pocket of Mitchell. He pulls it out. Mock dribbles. Passes it down to Bailey. Bailey can't get it to fall. Brandon Hewlett works hard to get that rebound. Mitchell for three, no. Rebounded by Kelly. Kelly missed Armpriester, but we got a foul called on Brandon Hewlett, which I'm being told is his fifth personal. Joe Javinville has 30 seconds to replace Brandon Hewlett. Almost like a mini timeout now. Massena can work the ball. Take some time off the clock. There's 1:29 to go. If they can work the ball and take some time off the clock, as I was told by Tim Cole, they got a shot at winning this thing, but Alan Kelly will go to the free throw line first for the 1-and-1. That's not an earthquake. That's the student section here at St. Lawrence Central. And Kelly drains the first one. Ball kept alive. Kelly gets the rebound. They're going to call a traveling violation on Alan Kelly. 62-64. Borlow penetrates, dumps it off to Ward. Garcia for three, off the rim. Got a foul called on Dan Mitchell. That's his fourth. St. Lawrence is going to take a timeout, and will take a timeout. You're watching Section 10 basketball on WEPT Cable 36. Alan Kelly at the free throw line for the Red Raiders to try to add to this 2-point lead. And Alan Kelly violated the free throw line. As the free throw shooter, you got to wait till the ball hits the rim before you cross the free throw line. Alan Kelly didn't. As a result, he committed a violation. Here's Kelly. Slam one down for the Red Raiders. 66-62, 1 minute left to go. Mitchell. Gauthier pulls it out, hits Mitchell. Rejected. Here goes Alan Kelly again. He gets fouled by Chris Ward. Now put Alan Kelly on the free throw line with 47 seconds to go. and Massena with a 66-62 lead. Alan Kelly bringing the fans to their feet with that slam dunk. And he'll shoot 2. Here's his second try. He builds it to an 8-point lead, or 6-point lead rather, at 68-62. Mitchell for 3. Won't go. Kelly up to Armpriester. Armpriester. Back to Kelly. Kelly over to Bailey. Bailey for 2. Bailey with a nice defensive effort. As Dan Mitchell, out of frustration, shoves Dan Bailey and gets slapped with a technical foul. With 31 seconds, Massena lead 70-62. And a technical foul called on Dan Mitchell. That's 5 personal fouls on Dan Mitchell, where as a rule change last year, any technical or personal fouls add up towards the player's disqualification. Kelly hits the first one. Brad Lawrence will replace Dan Mitchell. Jamie Mock. We're in the final 25 seconds of the fourth quarter. Massena just working the ball. There's it tipped away. Rick Lund runs it down. Passes it up to Kelly. Kelly to Armpriester. We're 10 seconds left to go here. Rick Lund to Mock, over to Armpriester. Out front to Mock. Mock for 3, no. And Massena comes away with a victory, 71-62. Hard fight game by the Larrys. As Massena almost lucky to get out of here with a victory, as the Larrys gave them all they could handle. We'll be back with some final stats right after this.